Good morning. I wasn't actually going to go live on Facebook because my ego goes, no, there's loads of people that are going to think you're nuts if you share this with them. Just share it with the people that understand what it is. And I had instant guidance come back that says, actually, who are you to judge who those people are? And that's my own perception of things. I have a huge download that's coming and they want me to share, or that energy wants to share, wants to transmit through me and share. So my advice is just to listen, not to be in your head about what does that mean? What's that weird sound? Blah, 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 blah. It affects, this is what it does. It works on your brain waves, the sound, the rhythm, work on how, what I call the goblet effect. How the tiny crystals in our brain are being exposed to the light where the earth is at the moment, and as it moves into this part of the galaxy, and it goes there every golden age, if you like, of which we've had many, not just the one that's kind of talked about in mythology. And at this point in time, there's these crystalline structures. So in ancient Atlantis, we would transmit information with water. And a lot of that water was trapped in the caps, the north and south of the ice pole. And where things are starting to melt, that water information is now flooding around the world. Also, not just the water melting and the information that's there now accessible in a way that wasn't before. So even if you think about it, like every bit of water that you've drunk has been peed out by a dinosaur at one point. Water is it's a cycle, rain, it comes down to the earth, it goes up. Everything's been in cycles for thousands and billions of years. So at one point it come out of a dinosaur and it's gone into you. Clean, obviously, but no. So if you think about it on that terms, there's information exchange that happens in that. It's why everything's part of everything. Living water, there's a whole thing. Go check out Vendor Austin and the Dr. Emoto information if you're not familiar with that. And I'm sure the people that follow me are. So that said, that gives you a kind of reference for this. Also, there's, as I say, this crystalline, I was trying to explain it to my husband, who's completely opposite to me in the fact that he thinks it's rubbish. He's like, what do you mean the information comes to you? I'm like, it's what I call a download. It's like a package of information that my brain can read, like data through light, through waves of energy as I see this energy flows. And we are all made up of energy. And I'm not saying that I'm the only one that can do this. In fact, there's thousands of people that do this, but everyone is capable of doing this. They're just forgotten how. And the more in tune with themselves and their body that they are, the more that they're able to do this. So all I would say is when the love language comes, and the reason I'm doing this whole intro thing is because I know a lot of people that are on my Facebook won't know what I'm talking about on my normal personal page, which this is going out on, as well as YouTube and Instagram and on my Patreon, where you do know what I'm talking about. So apologies to you guys. But I needed to add that little caveat, if you like, in. So as the light comes through, as this information comes through, it affects the crystals in my brain. It allows me to let it flow through me. And when it first started happening, I thought it freaked me out too. I was like, is this weird? Is this me? Am I going nuts? Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, I went through all of that. And I'm always going through all of that because I'm normal. It's like, yeah, okay. But I've had to surrender to it because what comes with it is, like I say, packets of information that perhaps I'm starting to, in the now moment, kind of interpret. I got not told off, but kind of reprimanded in a way when I started to try and interpret it. Because when you interpret it through your own sphere of understanding, and it's not meant to be done that way, because everyone will hear these words and every single person will get a different piece of information from the same sounds. It's not like language, it's more like telepathy. And if you think of, rather than sound waves hitting a shiny surface and bouncing off, in different ways, light disperses in different ways depending on what the density of what it's hitting. And crystalline light, which is what's coming through here, is different. It's kind of the information. Think of it like I heard JJ, another light language channeler, speak of this recently. She's like melting, and I was like, yeah, that's exactly perfect analogy of the information has been locked, held physically as well in the Earth's information. So scientists will find it, give it another 60 years, and they'll be able to interpret what I'm going on about in a different way, like through science. We just haven't, as medical mediums, we haven't got time to catch up, because it needs to kind of our subconscious and our conscious mind, which is what's being affected by it, and how we understand and perceive things, is happening now. And this is the process. So actually hearing love language, hearing light language, will affect you. It'll allow your love language, or what I call love language, because it's the frequency of love in my mind. It has no agenda. It's more like rays of light working on our skin, on your suntan if you like, but the suntan being your understanding, your awareness, your capacity to understand the broader, bigger things and the bigger picture. And it's needed more than ever right now, because with so much light, you see the shadow, you see the sharpness of the shadow. And what I mean metaphorically, the sharpness of the shadow is what's happening in our world around us. So I probably would be freaking out at what's happening in the world, really emotional about it all, if I didn't have this connection showing me where we're heading, showing me after that the reaction, the cause and effect on the physical will be this. So that's the first thing, just so you know. So how light goes, because I always get a bit like, oh, it's fine if people are aware and they know and they understand, and other people think, oh my god, this is fucking weird, I don't know, that person's lost their nut off their nut. And if that's you, fine. I know I have to let go of my fear, and they're saying that it's not just about an ego thing of me letting go and being seen. That's my personal journey with it. Other people need that frequency to help. I don't want to say heal, because none of us need healing, but it's remembering the power that we have and capacity to be whole, each and every one of us. And this helps with that. That's still my interpretation of one of the many benefits of it. Anyway, so that explained. Yeah, so crystalline star. So this is linked to star energy, cosmic energy, flight, kind of air and water, elemental energy, elements as well, because this is working on the elements and I'm going through elements. But I'm just going to shut up now and let my higher self, higher being, conduit speak instead. I stay here. You'll notice I'm not a trans channeler. Trans channels, they disappear, and then the light or whatever's channeling through them is present whilst they're not. I'm there all the time and intersperse. So it's more that I'm an antenna, and I'm allowing myself to be a pure vessel in that sense, to just, without my own bias, just let it come out. So just breathe in through your nose and out through your nose and let it wash over you, and try not to be in the head about what does that mean. Some things I'll be able to interpret, others it takes days for that to seep through to the surface for me to understand exactly what that information was. But as I said, each of the love language, as it flows through, as it hits you like a crystal, it'll be a different package of information for you than it is for me. Okay, so just breathing in through the nose, out through the nose. E kurak te kai aturo miata este ai uro maiata E aiura tia shuna kai. Kai ora na ia tia duro me akadai. E a hokora me akadarekia. Ora me aturo me ai shira todokuma. E a anora knia shkura me asta katakturopa. E aiura dia shira todokuma. Ai anai aturo mai ai ki aiuro no manete ai kuroma. Inuru kita tur ter tatuku ma aiata. O que te derera ta Europa I ayanoro bai pi ai ushu amalanakara. O ma I isa orakta. E korakti aktorakti raktorakti ai nai to kuromea e ora pai ktoropa. Ni korakti ashirakta. Mi ashura hanaya I ora. He aiora hai ana nura ma. Enda ta tira koka I anura pa. Nira tatari shura maya. E ko o niana. Ina nono ko o maya ka. E toro maya to. E shukura maya taya. Nono magi ashana. E kaya nane kura pa. E ko o ma. Nono aishi. E soro maya kayurana. He soro maya kayuro maya. Ui turo mia turo chia shurka. Shurpia kair tata. Ir tata tira tata purpa. Nikatata tira tata paiko. Ne tata tiki tur tiki. Ai ira tata tika ora. Bdi ika ai tata kuma. Ni o hula hana he te. E ki ana he ku o maha e anea. Ne se a ki a hane ane ko. Ha hane a e ku o maha. Mai e sa ta te ki ano ku o ma. Ko saki ka ana ane. Ito ahane. Hani o ko o mai e sha. Ni sa kora ne kiki ana ano shono ma. Ne ki ha ne hehe na. Aka a e a ane e ku o wa a te. Wa hahane e ki ana. Ni hehe nai shi ku o oma. E an shika a aia no. Ne se ko oma. E eta a kana eta. Ne sa ko oma. Eta e kola. I tutu shuko o. Ne sa la tatishana. E ko ola shika ana. E shita a shi ahana. E ka a shaga ka a ola. Ana I a. Iha a tata eka. E saturo no ma ki a loko a ana. I a shika ita. Na ia. Ne sataruroko. Ne satoro ona ko olaka. E sa no mayaka. E kanana ko oro maya. E ko oko o mata. E sututu ko oraka. E ki anana ko o mayata. E naneti o anayete. Nenanaka. Nenaka. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Ayananaka. Ananaia toro mai. E satoro neia toro ishira. E nananakana. E koro na tete kora. E aia na duru aya. E ko amana ayana. E ai aua. Aiua a aieta. Ne satananaka. Ne na ona. Oma. Oma. Oma ie. Oma. Oma. Oma ie. Oma. Oma. Oma ie. Kashia. Kashia. Ie. Me. Ashi toro mai se torarana. Akaya tatoko. I ana ai chura tatakai shida. O mai ana iki ana putoroma. E satodoro. I toro mai kita a. I aramakai aramaki. Urumaiti ashurumar aramati ayura isitururumba ne surumayatata adnaishaka hai dai situruma daiura ne dariko aguro ne ate shikukura Inatoroma. Ana. Just breathe and allow all of the information, the feelings to wrap around you like a blanket of love. Ianura, as I feel it wrapped around me, through my body, through my cells, through my being, through my mind. I am immensely grateful for transformation, for transmission, for trying to understand. The love, the wisdom and the will. Oh wow, hey. Thank you for joining me. Just let myself come back to being a little bit more energetically anchored. It's a heady rush having that energy flow feel almost a little bit lightheaded. I just need to ground a little bit. They're saying anchoring, I need to eat. And I hadn't eaten yet, so other than juices, which for me is I was like, I mean, why am I not eating as much? I think it's not illness, it's that there's high energy flowing, and the denseness of the matter of the food has to be a certain frequency for it to not interfere, if that makes sense. Anyway, that's a personal thing. Not everyone has that. That's how I find my flow. That's important to understand. We are all individual and all different. I hope that your love language was flowing and you were flowing with me. You were feeling the communication. There felt like about I think there was about 5. It's hard to tell, different packets of energy speaking. And I think of it as packets of energy because I think that gives more of a neutral ground for everyone that's going to listen to that. Some people might refer to them as ancient ancestors, as star beings, soul family. They are all of the above, but they are also just light and energy and source flowing in alignment. So it depends on your own lens or glasses of experience as how that information hits you. Some people that might be angelic, speaking in tongues or whatever. It depends on you. And my thing with it is not to get in the head about it, that's what it's for. It's telepathy in a sense. It bypasses our ego and our concepts and our religious beliefs. That's why I call it love language, because it is a frequency. It is it's a interpretive of information. I think that helps to have that as a kind of scope to give it some kind of a box, but it doesn't belong in a box. That's the whole point. I hope it makes you feel. It's meant to make you feel it through your field. It will work on your brain, your concepts, your triggers, and your body. I mean, you could say, I suppose it said it from another lens. I'm a Reiki master. Whatever I'm doing it with the healing intention for you to be in your highest perspective, and for myself to be in my highest perspective for the highest good of all of humanity. That intention I have with everything I do. So it's what it means for you. So let me know if you speak like language, if anything fell through for you, if anything landed, how it landed with you, how it made you feel. Even if in a couple of days you come back to this and you go, actually, now I'm like having these little, because it's good to have feedback, because as I said, differently for different people. So I need to go and ground further. I recommend you do this, drinking water. And if you play this, another way of dealing with this, if you let this next to water and then down the water, it's another way for the information to come into your body. You can do the same, put it on your plants, to help with the growing and stuff. So however you want to do it with your vegetables. What was coming through for me, I'd like to just, before we go, as a caveat, definitely there's this crystal information that's flowing through that we have access to, that's kind of like melting over the globe. As I said, January had this obsidian 0 point energy about it in the report. So it's like that crystal that's got all the little stars. 0 point is the pause when you sort of breathe in. That moment before you exhale. It's the point of creation. There is an actual term for this in the Ashlana Dean text and Lisa Renee stuff, where they call it quarks of energy or something, and I'm sure our science are called a bit. And I was watching Tron the other day, and I was thinking, it's like the bit, like the little bit, the different like little thing. If you've ever seen all the Tron, the bit, and then it goes up to the different levels and different generations. Well, information goes up in layers like that. That's why we think of it as ascension, but it isn't higher or lesser than. And higher frequency doesn't necessarily mean good. That's important to know too. So I didn't put it in place. What came through to me was this like protective energy of, which is part of the 0 point energy, the black cat, or I call them the black cat guardian order, because that's how I see them, as this huge black panthers. They're as a spirit totem linked with when you're dreaming, the dream medicine, and helping you through astro projection, astro realms. But they are basically holding space, sacred space for holding. And when I had my Akashic with Kira, we unpicked what they were, because I wanted to know. I want to know when everything. I don't just take anything on safe value. Even if it comes through me, I always research it. I always afterwards, I'll go away and I will look up sounds and things, because I want to know. I want to know it from me, want to know. Personality wants to know. It doesn't mean that I don't trust. But in the beginning, I was like, ugh, of everything. And I think that's important for you, not just to take, oh God, I'm seeing an angel kind of on Facebook. Is it that? Is it that? I'm not saying doubt everything, but you can't trust your eyes anymore with AI and stuff. So you need to discern from internally. And that's what this has taught me to do, from the feeling, rather than what a concept of what someone says as an angel. Certainly since seeing these light beings in Egypt when we were there with Matthias, 9 of them on stage standing by him, and I'm like, oh my God, am I hallucinating? What am I seeing? Like, yeah. So that was the freakiest thing I think that I could say that's happened, but there's been more since. But yeah, anyway, that's for another vlog. This is longer than I thought. These daily posts that I'm meant to be sharing, I will share them not just on Facebook. They're on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. I can't go live until I've got a few more people, because they changed the settings on that. So if a few more people want to follow me on Instagram, then I might be able to go live. Other than that, I'm uploading the videos at the moment. The same I have actually got a designated Facebook group that's free, that is specifically for all this stuff, which I'll share this as well, and my Patreon, of course. And this month it's open, so I'm sharing, and so I might as well just go live here and I'll post it on there. Whereas I normally would have done this as a video in there. This is the sort of thing that I do in there. So if you like that, then this might be something that you would enjoy. Out of a housekeeping. And I was saying, well, why am I doing this in front of my personal page? Because I find it highly embarrassing personally. It's scary. It pushes me out of my comfort zone. One is why I'm doing it. Progress mode, growth. Not everything that is progress feels comfortable. It's good to challenge ourselves. And it's not that I'm sick of hiding, because I don't think I ever hid. That would mean deception. I think we all have faces and masks, don't we? Like we're the daughter, we're the mother, we're the work employee, we're all these different hats, if you like. And we respond differently. And some would say, well, you need to be different for different people. But in my 20s, I decided I didn't want to be. I was just only me. And I started to do that. And then there was some backlash, because then other people don't expect you to be that way, or you stop being a certain way for them, and they want you to be a certain way. Their expectations of you being a certain way, it kind of upsets it challenges their own views as well. And their own thoughts and feelings about stuff. And I was aware, and I'm not one of these people that thinks the world is against me, but I am quite, as I say, empathic and telepathic. So I know when someone is, shall we say, not jealous, but triggered by me. And I send them love. I send it right back. But sometimes that will come back in their experience of them needing to understand. So for all those people that think I'm nuts, I send you love and understanding, and forgive you for not being what I wanted you to be. And I'm sure you forgive me for not being what you wanted me to be. And I set you free. So yeah, but luckily, thankfully, there are lots more people who are beautiful soul tribe out there that don't think I'm nuts, that totally get what I'm trying to explain. And I think that that's part of my purpose. It sounds a bit, I don't want it to sound too egotistical. I come from a father that's very logical and a mother that was very spiritual, and I've always felt as though I'm a bridge between the two. And I think I've always tried to do the same with science and spirituality. I haven't just taken the spirituality side or the religious side of things. I've always wanted to know the science of that and to explain it, not just to others, but for myself. So I think that's important. Hey, beautiful goddess. I'll put this up so you can watch the replay. High five and a big soul hug to you. Love and blessings. I hope all is well with you. I just did a little download that come through and I was like, I don't want to do that live on Facebook. And my guidance going, you need to, because it's not just for you. I was like, okay, let it go, let it go. If I've got to do this like in July at this sound healing meditation Kent Festival, I'm gonna have to just get over myself. So this is the best way to do that. And if I can't do it in front of my friends and family, which is probably worse actually than doing it in front of strangers, then it doesn't matter. I know they love me, even if they love me in my craziness. So I love you guys too. Anyway, and thank you for joining. Yes. Anyway, it comes, I think there's a bit of a delay in the thingy, but for both of you. And yeah, I'm going to leave it at that. I'm going to upload this to YouTube. So if you're watching on YouTube, let me know. Say YouTube. If you're watching on Facebook or Instagram, let me know. And yeah, let me know if anything comes through from the light language. Just play it. You don't have to even like be kind of listening. It's the sound. It's like when you play, like for this month, 528 hertz is the frequency. It's the same sort of thing. That's like bees and nature energy. You can have it right down low. The frequency still has an effect on things. That's important to know. It's like the light is all around you, air is all around you. You can't necessarily see it, but it's there. It's the same concept and it works right the way through your cells. So love language is the same, and it will work on what you need. It hits, as I was trying to explain it in the beginning, it's like a prism. It hits, you know, the light, different colors come out, different frequencies will come out of the density of the being. Sorry, I'm calling in, dependent on how it hits, how it lands. So that will depend on the being as we move and evolve into what we are becoming, from a carbon life form to a crystalline life form, and that will take a few generations, but it starts now with these tiny little crystals in our brain, which I think is really cool. And which I've actually myself, this is my name for it, copyright here, the goblet effect. And the reason I call it the goblet effect is there's a Roman goblet in existence that has these tiny particles of crystal, silver and gold in it. And depending on how the light shines, it changes colour. And when I was watching the programme, I saw that, my download went, bam, that is what's happening to your brain and these crystals. And science is only just learning about them. So I'm sure there will be much more information coming through about that. But yeah, that's why, because I want to know why and how and what it's doing. We love your crazy and Hicks goddess. We'll watch, replay, feeling the codes flowing in. Yes, and it felt strong. It's everywhere. It's melting. You don't even need, this is just, and this is important as well, you don't need me to be getting those codes. They're coming through anyway. When you hear light language, it's more like focusing it. It's a laser. It's a conscious intention to allow the highest aspect of you. That's important too. It also activates your own way of doing that. So it's like picking up the sword out the stone, if you like, and going, I've got my power, I have the power. Is it Grayskull? It's just saying, but it's stepping into your power, knowing you have the power. I'm not giving you the power. Everybody has it. Anyway, love you lots. Have a beautiful day, my beautiful goddess and soul sister. Thank you. Thank you. Bless. Yeah, and please share it. If you've got a wellness group that you think it would be land well with, then please feel free to share. And I'll pop it up on YouTube if it's easier to do it that way, if you're not on Facebook. Love you. Take care.